Greetings, everybody. Jaja and I are here to show you what we take to the jungle. Of course, Jaja doesn't get to go with me. She wishes she could go with me. So you guys can see I'm pretty much dressed in my jungle gear here. And I do have an animal that we will find plenty of while we're out there. This sweet little thing. Are you a good girl, Zaza? You want to get up there on my hat? She likes being up there sometimes. All right, guys. So you can see that I have all of the jungle gear here. And I am going to show you guys what I've streamlined as far as gear that I take to the jungle. It's actually a pretty funny thing that the very first time I ever went to the jungle, I had so much gear. You can go. You have been excused, okay? The first time I went, Larry had been joking around nonstop that I'm going to need elephants to carry all of my gear to the camp because, you know, when we go out there to the jungle, not only the plane rides and the small airplanes you have to take to get to the smaller cities, but then you have to take long vehicle rides, long boat rides in small boats. So it's not practical to take a ton of stuff. And I am always excited to share all of my goings on with you guys. And just like today, I'm excited to share with you this right here, this jungle gear. This is all I take with me now, what I'm wearing and what's in these bags. Besides a couple little things that I still have to get. One of the things that I have to get is one of these hats, because this is not my hat that I wear to the jungle. I actually left that out on my boat out at the lake. So we're going to run out and get that tomorrow. And I'll have my big blue floppy hat. For those of you who've been on trips with me or have seen my trips on the pictures, I have a hat with a rim even larger than this. And it folds up real nice into my gear. So this is just a stand-in hat that I found while I was desperately searching through the closets to find a hat to wear for you guys today. All right, I am, as usual, going to take just a minute to get my technology together so that I can see who's here and say hi to you guys and if you have any comments. I do actually have a helper today. Kyra, do you want to come and show yourself? Kyra came over today to help me with videoing, and also we can chat a little bit with Kyra as we move along today because Kyra has been on 2 jungle trips with me, haven't you?
I have.
She's very, very brave. So we'll talk about that too once we get started. I'm going to go grab my technology and I will be right back. Are you, Kyra, able to see the computer where you can see any comments on the right-hand side? What was that? Erica, good day, Erica. Greetings. All right, so I'm going to sit on the floor, Kyra. Is the camera good? So we're really thankful to have Kyra here today. And Larry was here just a second ago giving Kyra a little quickie lesson on the camera. This is going to be really fun unpacking this stuff. Larry's just thrilled that I'm doing this live feed today because it drives him absolutely crazy that I usually do all of this packing literally hours before I leave. And if I'm leaving early in the morning, then I am usually doing this packing until midnight. So, all right, let's see how things look here in our camera. All right, let's start with what I'm wearing here. If I stand back up, is that going to mess you up? I should have thought of that. Hello, David. Thank you for coming, watching us today. Oh, we have 2 Davids, David Mark and David Python Snake. So thank you guys both for being here. All right, so let's see. If I stand up, can we still pretty much see me? I am going to show you guys what I'm wearing here, and then I'm actually going to start unpacking my gear. And I'll just chat for a couple more minutes. Larry always tells me, wait a minute before you start the meat of the video. So I'll tell you guys that I am leaving for my trip to Brazil next week. And it is going to be my 10th trip to the Amazon rainforest to search for wild emerald tree boas. And so far, I found some on my own. My very first emerald I ever found was a Batisi, the basin emerald, and that was in Peru. And I was with a group of 7 people. Everybody was looking for tarantulas on the ground, and I had my flashlight up in the trees, just praying and hoping to find an emerald tree boa. And lo and behold, I found one, even though I was told that there were no emeralds in that area. But my research said otherwise. So I decided to go to that area anyways to see what I could find. And I was just happy to check out their habitat and see what kind of surroundings they lived in. No expectations to actually find an emerald, to some degree, because I was told over and over again I was not going to find one by the camp leader. So I just had kind of decided that I may not find one, but every night when we were out there walking, I was searching for that emerald up in the trees. And on our 3rd night out there, I found one. So that was pretty amazing. That was my very first trip. And it really encouraged me to keep going after I found that one. And then I took 2 trips where I found no emeralds. And then on my 4th trip, we found 5, and then my 6th, 7th. And as we've gone on, I've met more people and learned more, strategies for finding these animals. So now that I'm on my 10th trip, I am actually taking my main Suriname guide, who I've been with 5 times out there. The number of emeralds that we've found together is over a dozen. So we are a great team, and he is an expert. And he's going to be going with me to Brazil, to northeast Brazil, where we are going to search for emeralds on the river. So we're super excited about that, for Mark and I to get to do this together. We travel well together, we know each other well, and I feel very safe with Mark. And we just have a good communication. And like I said, we just know how to travel together. So that's going to be an amazing trip. All right, let's get on now with what I'm wearing and what I have in these bags. Let me just have a quick look here. Eric and Raven, hello, welcome. And Brenda, hi Brenda. Thank you for being here. Are there any, you have access to YouTube and Facebook, so just read me anything that comes on there. Oh, hi, Ron. I'm going to see Rundo tonight. He's going to stop by, so thank you. He must be on the YouTube channel. All right, you guys, let's go ahead and start. If you see any questions or anything come in, just let me know. All right, so we talked about the hat. A hat is a huge necessity out there because I don't like to put sunscreen on. I don't use any bug repellent, nothing like that, because I'm touching animals while I'm out there. And I don't want to take a chance of anything getting on animals that I might be touching. Even though the snakes are not as susceptible to the toxins in chemicals that we put on our body, but any frogs would be. I'm not really big on touching frogs, though I have. I just like to keep my hands real clean. So instead of wearing chemicals on myself, as far as bug spray and sunscreen, I wear a huge hat. If you weren't here when I mentioned it, this is a hat I just found in the closet that I had from Tucson. But the hat that I actually wear to the jungle is quite a bit larger brimmed than this one. And the one I wear to the jungle, actually, you just like twist it and fold it up like one of those windshield protectors. So this hat does not do that. So my other hat is out on the boat, and we're going to go collect it tomorrow. It's a 30-minute drive, so it wasn't just easy to run out there. But we'll be that way tomorrow. Okay, so the hat. Now, also you guys can see my boots. These boots are made for walking, and that's just what I do. You would not believe the miles that I have put on these boots. I actually have 2 pair of these boots. The reason why is kind of a long story. I had taken some trips back to back and left my gear in Peru while my friend waited for me, and then ended up going to Suriname unexpectedly. So I ended up with 2 pair of these boots, so they're not as worn as they would be. And I did not take these boots on my very first trip. Before I went on my first trip to the jungle, I literally bought and returned 8 pair of boots, and then finally stuck with these. I would walk around in the house, see how they felt on my feet. The first trip, I found a pair of boots I really liked, but they didn't have this little heel. And I didn't want this little heel on my boots because I thought it wouldn't be comfortable, but it turns out that it's necessary. It really keeps you from slipping. And when you're walking down slippery slopes, muddy slopes, and you can dig this heel into the mud, it's extremely helpful. Kyra's over there nodding her head vigorously because she knows. And also the height of these boots is very good. You really need a boot that comes to the knee, because you do have to often walk into the water, and Kyra knows it was my fault, but I did make Kyra walk in water that was too deep for her boot, and the water went in her boot, and I spent the whole day trying to dry her boot out. I felt really bad. But the reason I did make her walk in the deeper water is because everybody kept walking with muddy boots onto the boat. So when you guys go on a boat in the jungle, always try to get your boots rinsed off in the water, but make sure the water's not too deep, which that was completely my fault. All right, let's get back to this. The height of the boots is important. The heel of the boots is important. Also, you don't want any of those lace-up boots. You want them to be completely waterproof, as well as easy to get on and off. I think I'm going to stand up again. So if it's better if I stand here. So then also you guys can see, put this bag here too. Right here I have this little thing, and it tightens, and then you press this little button down. And why would you want this? Because while you're walking, you can make sure that you're not getting bugs and debris in your boots, because you can, little twigs, sticks, and even bugs can fall down in there. So you do want to keep this closed tight. And we did, when I was in Colombia with Dave, we did walk through some pretty good rivers. Like, we did our whole night hunts sometimes walking in the water. Yes. The brand is Lacrosse. And when I take them off, I'll show them up close again. How's that? Can you see them? And they are really good. They had excellent reviews. Like, all the boots had people writing comments that the seams came off and all kinds of different things. So these had good reviews, and then I actually tested them and they worked. And there is a place I go in Peru, I've been twice, where you have to walk 8 hours, literally, through the deep, hard to walk in mud to get to the village. So these boots took me there perfectly. And I always recommend these boots to everybody who goes with me. Kyra, you have these boots, right? You got a different kind of pair? So yes, they do get sold out. It's hard because these are only in men's sizes, and it's hard to find our girl small sizes that we need with these men's boots. And the girl boots are just as good, but they're not as high. So they only come about to here. So that's why I had to get the man boots. Luckily, I was able to find my size. Well, actually, I wasn't able to find my size now that I think about it. These are too big for me, which is perfectly fine because I guess I may as well just finish up with the boots before I move on. Do you guys mind if I take my hat off? I was trying to stay in costume, but it's getting hot in here. All right, what's the next question? Iquitos. I do fly into Iquitos. I have a couple times. I don't always go that far down. I always enter via Lima. And sometimes I go to Puerto Maldonado area down the Madre Dios River. And then I have gone a few times all the way down to Iquitos. And when I get to Iquitos, I don't actually look for the animals. There's a huge reserve there, but I don't actually go to that reserve. Then I travel east up to the three frontiers where Colombia, Brazil, and Peru meet together on the Amazon River. So yes, I have entered Caballo Cocha twice through Iquitos, but I've never actually hunted around Iquitos. Good question. Let me show you guys why it's okay that these boots are too big. And if you want to lower it, yeah, I'll stay down here. Why it's okay that they're too big. When you're out in the jungle, these boots get used. When I said these boots are made for walking, and that's just what I do, it's not just a song, it's reality. And I really do use those boots. So what I have here is, besides this thin, sole that's in these boots, I have these two inserts. And this insert is the one that you actually go to the foot place and put your foot into a mold and they create it for you. But it's very strong. And stepping on just this all day, it's almost like having a massage, like a deep tissue massage, and your feet kind of hurt the next day. So I came up with a system where I put this gel sole over the top of that, and then all of that is inside my boot. And I'm telling you guys, I could walk forever with these soles in there. And the reason I even got better soles for my shoes was before I did have good soles like this my very, very first trip. Because before I ever went to the jungle or ever even heard of Dave Kaufman, I watched one of his Peru jungle adventures, and I had heard him say that it felt like he was walking around barefoot on cement after walking all day long in the regular boots. So that's when I decided to get the extra soles to put in there. All right, so that's about my boots. This is the item I could not live without. Yes, my friends who live out there in the jungle go barefoot, but I'm not able to do that. There are dangers in the water. You step in the riverbanks a lot because we travel on the river. So there are many things in the water, electric eel, piranha, which, piranha go away when you get in the water. But the electric eel could be hiding in crevices, so you never know when you might stumble upon one. And then the most dangerous thing on the banks of the river is, I always forget, stingray. And because they're just like flat and they're sitting down on the shallow water collecting sun, and they'll have sand over them and you don't even see them. So you always want to shuffle when you're in the water. And we do bathe in the water, of course, without boots, but we, make sure that we have a clear space to do that. All right, I think I'm done with the boots. Since I started with the boots, I'm just going to continue from the bottom to the top, even though I did my hat first, but I didn't have to get that off. All right, let's have a look at these socks. These are a huge deal, believe it or not. I traveled to the jungle, I'm going to say 3 or 4 times, maybe 3 times. And every time I got to a village and I would be talking to Larry, he says, every single time I see you, you are washing your socks. And I said, I know, because they never dry. So they always just smell like mildew. And I would wash and wash and wash my socks. And no matter what, they smelled mildewy. They were just cotton, socks. And so I got so tired of it, and I Googled about quick dry socks, and I found this. What did we say it was? Kyra, merino wool socks. And I thought, oh, golly, I can't wear wool socks in the jungle. It's going to be way too hot. But it turns out they're actually not too hot at all. They are actually cool. Didn't you feel? And they dry. And getting socks that dries is not an easy thing. And we'll talk about underwear too. It's the same problem. You have to have quick dry stuff out there because it's always raining. And I'll tell you guys more about that when I get to the part where I talk about all the stuff I took on my first trip. It was so ridiculous. All right, then I have my pants. These are quick dry pants. I'm going to stand up again, but I can see over here, so I don't think you have to move the camera. I don't know, whatever's easy. These pants, I'm really into pockets. It's actually a big joke when I take these trips about my pockets. I could tell you a couple stories about the pocket situation, which you're going to find out when I talk about this vest. But these are quick dry pants. They were very expensive because they're a really good quality fabric. They're not waterproof, but they're water repellent. So if it's raining, the pants don't get totally soaked. The rain kind of falls off them, but if they get submerged in the water, they're not going to stay dry, but they dry super quick. And they have really good pockets all around. Pockets that zip. That's extremely important to have pockets that zip because you put your stuff in there, you never know when you're going to fall in the water or, you know, just end up in some situation where you could lose things out of your pockets. The pockets on the side here button, but then there's also a zipper pocket on the inside, as well as other smaller zipper pockets in here. And that's just always good because if I did have something in the small pocket and something in the outer pocket, I wouldn't want to take the out one thing and then lose another. So a lot of pockets in the jungle is extremely important. As well as, you know, my back pockets. You just can't take your phone and stick it in your back pocket and walk around in the jungle. You have to have it inside a pocket zipped up because that's the only way it's going to survive. When I first got these pants, I couldn't figure out why every time I went on the airplane, I would go through the beeper. They would have to wand me. But it turned out that there was some kind of strip inside these pants so that you could roll them up and then snap it. And those little metal snaps made them stop me every time. So I just cut that piece out. This, if you guys watched my jungle art, or what, it wasn't jungle art. Yeah, I did it on my jungle art. I've talked about this shirt a couple different times and the significance of the dragon lizard on the front. I'm not going to get into that in this trip, but this dragon lizard is a symbol to me. And I've taken this dragon lizard with me in one form or another on every trip I've been on. My very first trip to the jungle, when I took all that stuff, I had this on a big, like, flag that my daughter made me. So this is like my jungle mascot is this dragon lizard. And I do have multiple shirts with this on it, and I wear this shirt every time I go out hunting for the emeralds. And when I say hunting, guys, I'm talking for observation, no other reason. I just mean, I should say searching. When we go out searching for the emeralds, I always wear one of these shirts. They're identical, every one of them. Now, this green shirt that I have on is mostly for bug repellent. It serves a purpose because you wouldn't believe it, but in the evenings when you're out there on the boat, it's cold. There are lots of times we're covering with tarps. I mean, I could show you pictures one day of Kyra sleeping on the bottom of the boat covered in tarps because it does get cold out there. So this shirt keeps me warm, but also keeps the mosquitoes away. Like I told you, I don't wear bug repellent. So it's extra important to have enough coverage because those mosquitoes will still get through all of these clothes. They will. And then also I use it for other things that I might need it for. It's just nice to have this big piece of fabric. Now, this right here, ladies and gentlemen, this is my Scotty vest. And this vest has, you're never going to believe it, but it has 42 pockets. And this is where the joke comes in, because I have, like, I can literally, oh, glasses and tissue. I can literally take an entire bottle of water like this and make it disappear into my vest here. Yeah. And not only that, but I can do it on the other side too. And I also have not only these huge pockets where you saw me put the water bottles, I have 2 such pockets on each side. So one in the front and one on the back. So I can put anything inside of these pockets that I need. And I mean, you can see I have these 2 huge bottles of water in here, and I'm not that bulky. And it's, you know, you just want to make sure you get your weight right. I also have all kinds of other pockets in here. And then I have a nice special pocket for my passport. It even has a little cover thing so magneted stuff can't, you know, steal your information or erase data, whatever it's for. I don't use that. But and then I have spaces for cell phones, earpods, earbuds, just all kinds of stuff. Even in the back, this whole entire, I don't know if you guys can see because it's all black, but this whole entire thing back here is actually for a laptop. So this whole back, I can't get it undone, but this whole entire back pocket fits a laptop inside of it. And you can literally travel with everything you need inside of this vest. And when you go to the airport security, you just take your vest off and lay it right down on the belt. And it's just super easy. So this is called a Scotty vest. And they are fabulous. They are expensive, but you guys, I can't even imagine traveling without one. On one of my trips, one of the inner zippers got stuck and I had to hurry up and get it undone. And so I just had to pull it apart. And like I said, they're expensive. So I emailed the company and told them what happened to me. And guess what? Without any question, they sent me a whole new vest and told me to keep the old one and to just remember that when I make a recommendation. So it's a great company. I'm really in love with this vest. And then Larry, if you guys don't know, Larry sews, and he's made me some fantastic costumes and stuff, but he put these little snakes on these vests. So that was really a sweet gesture. Just tons and tons of pockets. This pocket, I keep it filled with tissue and wet wipes, rubbing alcohol. Like I have a space for each thing. But the problem is when you're in a hurry and you throw your phone in a pocket or your flashlight in a pocket, and then later you're looking for those items and you have to unzip 30 zippers before you find it, you're not the only frustrated person in the group. And there was one point, for those of you who watched Dave's videos from our Suriname trip, you know Mikey. And Mikey was doing something. I was like, Mikey, you're driving me crazy. And then he does a mock thing on his shirt. He's like, zip, 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 zip. You're driving me crazy. So that just became a joke. Like every time I acted frustrated, people would start going zip, zip, zip. So yes, it can be frustrating having 42 pockets when you can't find anything. And I know Kyra's laughing extra hard because she could picture me acting like that. Somebody responding that way. So yes, the Scotty vest, the pants, the shirt, the extra shirt, the socks, the boots. You guys got the hat. You got the full lowdown on what I'm wearing. So I guess we'll start talking about the gear. Kyra, I wonder if it would be better to lower that camera or to just keep it at an angle, because we can lower the legs a bit. Okay. All right, let's just check our comments and see who's here. Michelle, thank you for coming. Carl, Lee, Nan, hi Nan. You guys, when I took my very first jungle trip, it was really difficult for my mom and Larry's mom to really acknowledge these jungle trips because it is scary. It's hard. You know, you're away from your family. You're gone out there. I mean, when I've taken these trips, I've gone out with groups of hunters, men that I've never met. I had no idea who they were, but they knew where the emeralds were. So I took a chance, not as big as a chance as it sounds, because I was going by my very good, turned out to be my very good friend's recommendation. And he set me up with these teams, but all the same, none of us knew these guys. So there was some scary times, and in the beginning it was a little hard to talk about, but as the trips have been going on and on, our mothers and other family members and friends have come to not only accept these trips, but to encourage them and be excited about them. Although, Nan, I know you would still rather me be at home. Last night we were talking on the phone and Nan kept saying, that little lizard's gonna miss you. She's gonna miss you so much. She's actually coming over here right now. She just came down. But yes, so these trips aren't just hard on me, but you know, it's stressful for family and friends because they are dangerous. It's a risk all around. Dangerous from other humans who aren't good, dangerous from animals. Believe it or not, the biggest danger is from trees because there are some plants out there. The animals run away from you. You're not going to get attacked by a what are they? Jaguar. Jaguar. That's why I hesitated because Mark always corrects me, jaguar, not jaguar. You're not going to get attacked by a jaguar because, you know, you would really have to mock being prey for them to come and try to attack you. Probably the most dangerous animal out there are wild pigs because they do come in huge herds. I'm going to tell you guys about the wild pigs. They actually encouraged my hammock setup, which I'm going to show you here shortly. And then, oh my God, she's so cute. Just put the camera over there really quick and show her. Jaja, you guys have seen this lizard. I know Nan said she always wants to be the center of attention. She's perfectly, just pick up the whole tripod and you can keep it exactly like it is and just move it over there. Like Nan said, she wants to be center of attention because she is always trying to get in front of the camera. Can you see her? So right now she's just as close as she could be and still be sitting in the sun. But yes, Nan said that Jaja was going to miss me so much. And that's true. I'm going to miss everybody here. All right. Where are we going to start with this gear? There are a couple of things that I will be getting tomorrow. Like I said, my real hat and a couple of other little things I'll show you as we move along here. You guys can see that I just have these two bags. This is my backpack that I take on the airplane with me. And this is my travel bag. I'll put a couple more things into this bag. I actually have something over there I'm probably going to take if I have enough room. And probably what I'll end up packing extra in here are some clothes. I try not to put too much stuff in my you know, checked baggage because that's a scary thing. Everything I have to have has to be in the bag that I take with me on the airplane, because what if this bag doesn't make it? And then it has my hammock or my boots or my big flashlight, this flashlight. If that stuff were in this bag and it didn't make it to the airport, what would I do? You can't buy these things there. You cannot buy boots of this quality. You definitely can't get the inserts. And definitely boots not this high. You cannot buy this flashlight there. A bunch of my electronics. This bag is heavy. Because it's got everything in it. And you guys are just about to see what all of those things are. All right, let's see where to start here. Now, this flashlight, I'll start with this since it's out here. You can see I hope I'm not shining it at you. I have a delay here, so I can't actually see what I'm doing right in front of me. But this has a yellow cover on it. And you can buy different color covers, but we use yellow when we're looking for emeralds because emeralds don't have the same eye shine as some of the other snakes, like the Amazon tree boas, for example. They have a super good feedback on their eye shine, but the emeralds have more of a white shine and shine. I got to say it right every time. Mark and Tony always say, eye shine, because that's what you see, you know, when you find them. But you use the yellow light, and you don't want anything way too strong because you don't want to wash out what you're looking for. Because often you're looking for the green within the green. So we're looking for the color of the emeralds as well as the eye shine. And what you do with your flashlight when you're looking for these animals is you don't shine your light in one spot for a really long time and look. You're just taking your light, you put it, this is important, very important. You put the light next to your eyes, because when you're looking for eye shine, you want that eye shine to come right back at your face. So you want it to come right back at your eyes. So that's why it's important to hold the light next to your face here, which is aggravating because the bugs are all coming, you know, around you at that time. And the yellow is helping you with that reflection coming back. So when you're doing this, you want to keep moving. You're just looking and moving your flashlight to all areas, looking. And you're not trying to find like one animal. You're looking for eye shine, and you will see it, you know, and every time you see something, then you know that there are 10 more. If you see one, there were 10 that you missed. So the flashlight is extremely important. I do take many other flashlights, but this is the important one. Now, the reason why I have all this tape around this flashlight is when I do a review, I told you guys I was going to do a review series where I review all of our technology in the jungle room. I'll also review some of this stuff. I'm just going to review everything because why not? But this has this little button right here on the side, and it turns this lantern type of light on. Well, the problem is that button gets pressed in my luggage, and there's no way to keep it from turning off because this is rechargeable. It doesn't actually have batteries. So there's no way to keep that from happening. So what we did is we taped a little lid over the top of that button so that it can't get pressed in my luggage, because it's super scary. I did actually have one of my headlamps now I take the battery out of, because it came on in my luggage. And when I got there, the headlamp had actually burned a hole through the little bag it was in. So fortunately enough, the battery didn't last long enough to like start a fire in there. And of course, there was no air or anything to keep a fire going. So, but it did burn a hole straight through the bag. It was really something. Reynaldo. You guys, I was just telling you about Reynaldo when we went to Peru, and he is the one that he and I, when you asked if we entered through Iquitos, it was Reynaldo and I together. We entered through Iquitos and traveled to Caballo Cocha. And we did that all different ways, different boats. And then finally, we figured out we can take an airplane. And it was only like, I think it was like $60 for Reynaldo and maybe like $100 for me. It was more expensive for non-residents. So the airplane was way better because it takes like an hour and the boat takes like 14 hours. So yeah, big difference. All right. So Reynaldo, I don't know if I'm sure he remembers all of the stuff I took on the first trip, because Reynaldo and I have actually been in the jungle together 3 different times. So he saw what all I brought on the first trip. You guys, when I went on that first trip, I actually spent a lot of time looking for a picture of me with all that luggage so that I could use it for my thumbnail. but I was not able to find that picture. But I had so much stuff. I had gone to the Army surplus store and bought a flight suit, like 5 pair of camouflage pants, heavy, thick camouflage pants. I had so many shirts, all the clothes, every technology you could even begin to imagine that you would need. I did end up being able to leave all of that stuff to different people on that first trip. So I realized at that time I was not going to need that gear like that anymore. I was going to have to rethink my gear because, of course, those big, heavy BDU, the military pants, did not dry, and just a lot of things. Like I said, I had chosen a different pair of boots on that first trip, and they were super slippery. So I had to actually borrow boots from the camp and put my insoles in them. So, live and learn. And I was on that trip for 1 whole month. But woohoo, I found my first emerald on that trip. It was amazing. And like I said, I gave that stuff away. Some stuff I gave away just because I gave away other stuff and I didn't have something to give to everybody. So there were things that I would not mind having again, but I just didn't ever get them. But like a Gerber, if you guys know what that is, it's a multi-tool. We used to use them. The military guys used to use them when they open up and it's got like 20 tools inside of it. It's fantastic. And it's just hard when you go out there, isn't it, Kyra, to not give your stuff away, because you have the coolest stuff that these guys have never seen and they can't get anything like that. And they get so excited about it. As a matter of fact, Reynaldo has a Gerber that I gave him. And I mean, it's just real. And hammocks, we get everybody who goes on a trip with me never comes back with their hammocks because they're so amazing. And those guys can't get a hammock like that. And they use them constantly. So you really spend more money on your trip giving stuff away, but it's well worth it. And, and sometimes I use my gear as a tip. I do like to give tips, and sometimes giving somebody a hammock, that's $100 hammock. So it's really not, more money than I would have spent anyway. And it's fun to get to give people things they really love and appreciate. All right, let's move on to these bags. These are waterproof bags. Fantastic. These also often get left behind. Reynaldo has one of these. Reynaldo even took one of my old bags that was broken and had it fixed at a store because, for me, I would have just bought a new bag, but because it was pretty ripped up and stuff, but he had it fixed and I'm sure he still uses it. Mark's got one of these. Lots of people. Mark's my Suriname guide who's going with me to Brazil. And every person who's ever taken a trip with me, I have a list of gear that I ask that you please be sure and have, and this is one of them. And when Kyra got here today, the first thing she noticed was this bag because this bag is new. And she's like, oh, I love that bag. And that's because, guys, we have to have a fully waterproof bag. It's going to get soaked in rain. Not to mention, it could get dumped in the river at any moment. The boat fills with water and it's sitting on the bottom of the boat. Your bag has got to be fully waterproof. Also, another thing is that both of these bags sealed up properly, which this one is not right now, but it is when I'm traveling. These bags completely sealed up are a actual flotation device. So if you do happen to fall into the river and you have your bag, you can actually use it as a flotation device. So you cannot beat this bag. I know you guys want to know the brands of stuff. This one is called Waterproof Outdoor Sports. And when I found stuff, I just, read the heck out of the reviews because you want to really make sure that what you have is good quality. Is it going to fall apart? And these Waterproof Outdoor Sports these are the bags that I chose. Now, this bag is different. It's called an Earth Pack. Sorry, I got to get her. When I'm doing something else, she just runs amok. That's what she does. She's a muck runner, aren't you? She wants. Yes, it's more fun to give gifts, because if you give someone money, what are they going to do with it? They're going to pay bills, do something they have to do with it, you know, and then you're giving them an item that they can't even get there. And it really is way more fun. Where are you going? Why are you so bad? Jeez. All right. So, and I'm just going along here as I go. I'll start right here in this pocket because this is what I'm looking at. This little package is very important. And these items, I have my Ziploc baggies in here, but these items will be in a 10-gallon Ziploc baggie. And these are my glasses so that I can see what I'm doing. I just noticed one of the sides is missing. I'll have to get a different pair of glasses. And then a pen and a note card, all inside of a Ziploc baggie. And this right here is a temperature gun. And I used to take the temperature and humidity reading in the jungle when I went, and then I would come home and I would check, you know, the temperature online and the humidity online, and it was just exactly the same. So I quit checking that temperature. I'm sorry, you guys. She tries to do something that she's not supposed to do. So I'm actually going to just send her down the hall because she'll just go down there and explore, maybe leave us alone. You guys see how she does that? Every time I do a live video up here, that lizard is running amok. That's why I'm telling you, I literally have to carry her around like a chihuahua while I'm doing chores around this house. All right, so I was taking temperature and humidity while I was out there, but found that it was exactly the same as what was listed online. And so I thought, well, that's such a hassle. I'm carrying extra gear, taking the time to set this up, checking it, and I'm not getting anything different than what we find online. So now this is going to be my first time taking this to the jungle, and it was a request from my very good friends, Steve Volk and I know I say my very good friends and I can't think of his name. But anyway, some emerald breeders that want to know, trying to get the name in my head again and I just can't think of it. Want to know not the ambient temperature of the air, but the temperature of the animal's body. So that's going to be very interesting. And we'll get to, this actually takes the temperature of whatever you put the laser on. We have these in every room in our house that has animals, which is every room in our house. So, and we also keep one in the reptile bathroom for when we shower the animals who don't use the rain chamber. We know what temperature the water is. So I'll be recording the temperature, the animal's body temperature on this trip, which is something I have not done in the past. So that's going to be really cool. And first, we'll kind of look through this bag here. I don't think I quite have these bags separated exactly the way I'm going to have them, but pretty much, and I'm going to add some more stuff. But this right here is a small backpack. This backpack goes with me everywhere. It also will be inside of this bag that goes on the airplane with me. And I keep all of my stuff in here. I have my Scotty vest, which I have all my important stuff in my Scotty vest. But this holds usually my phone tripod and, you know, maybe some camera gear, different little things like that might be in this bag. Some extra wet wipes. I always have tons and tons of wet wipes, alcohol wipes, little things like that. So, and I see that I have my passport in here, but my passport goes in my Scotty vest. So we'll come back and get all that straightened out. So this is a great little backpack. It has all sorts of little pockets and it's just really convenient and light. And I do take this on the boat with me inside of this bag, which I'll show you guys how the gear stays at camp. How are we doing on time? Hello, Jean-Jacques. And, oh, this is sunglasses, not regular glasses. And Sandro, hello, thank you for being here. Sandro, I know I'm not saying your name right, but Sandro and we each have a snake named Isis. Sandro also has another snake named Osiris, which is Peo's name is Poseidon, Aphrodite, Osiris. Tara, if you're here, I said it, okay? She laughs because I could never say the name fluently. And all kinds of different things that we have in common that I've been seeing when he makes his posts from the UK. So we do a lot of similar stuff with similar animals. And it's just really cool to have a kindred spirit, you know, across the whole entire ocean in another country. So thank you for being here today. All right, what else? My little backpack that goes with me everywhere. This is just a bag. This is just a waterproof bag. I buy these waterproof bags on Amazon, and they come in multiple different colors, which there are probably some more in here, but they come in all different colors and all different sizes. Well, I always take, it comes in a package of 5, I think, of all different colors. And I also ask that everybody who takes a trip with me buy these bags. And they are great for everything. The most important thing that I use usually this size bag for is laundry. I put my laundry into the bag. Oh my goodness, that lizard. I don't know what she's getting into in there. Okay, yeah, just check on her. If she's climbing, she's probably climbing next to that snake enclosure, whatever she's doing. Down the stairs? That's okay, because all of the snake cages are closed, so she's never gone downstairs without me being down there. So I put the laundry into this bag, and then I dump some soap in there, and then I, you know, put it into the river, fill it up with water. So it's got water and soap, and you can just wash one outfit. So these pants, this shirt, a pair of underwear, sports bra if you wear a bra, and socks. So just like one full outfit goes into this bag, and then you have it full of water, and you roll it up. If anybody is ever on the river or even camping, it's so much easier than trying to keep track of your clothes, because if you're trying to wash your clothes just free-handed in the river, that river's moving. And if you drop something out of your hand, it's gone. You are not getting it back. So this is filled with clothes and water and soap. And then I just like wash it, knead it, and do all of that. Get everything real clean. And then I dump the water out. And then I just keep filling it with water over and over again and try to get everything rinsed out. And then I take this bag and I clip it just like that and put it on my arm. And then I start taking my items out one at a time and rinsing them real good and extra. So this is a great laundry bag. This shirt doesn't usually get washed when I'm out there. I just keep wearing it day after day because I only wear it in the evenings when we're hunting and or searching, and it doesn't get any, you know, sweat or anything on it because I'm wearing shirts under it. Shower caps. I have to take lots of shower caps to the jungle so that I can always keep my hair looking big. I'm just kidding. I take the shower caps to the jungle because when your boots are sitting on the floor next to your hammock at night while you're sleeping in your hammock, or even just while you're eating or doing stuff around camp and you're not wearing your boots, you want to keep a shower cap over the boot. And what I do is I put it over the boot and then I push it down in the middle. And this keeps bugs, debris, rats out of your boots. So there is always a very good chance of things getting into those boots. Is she trying to come back up? Can you just bring her back up here? If you could, I'm sorry, you guys, just really quick here. We should have had food prepared for Jaja since she's just so bad. Yes, if you just bring her up here, you could feed her while I keep showing my stuff. Sorry, you guys. We did feed her. She's just very demanding. Just a quick little break on the gear, and I'll tell you guys when I'm not here, just try to keep her little self away from that sharpness. When I'm not here and Larry can't get to her until his lunch break, what we do is turn the air conditioner on like 73 degrees, and that keeps her up on her perch under her heat until he comes home from lunch. And then he can change the temperature from his phone like 20 minutes before he comes home. And then he comes home to take care of her. So she doesn't run a complete muck while she's alone here in the house. But luckily, Larry only works 3 days a week and he's off 4 now. So he'll have plenty of time with her, and it's going to be a holiday. So she's going to have someone with her most of the time. Kyra's over there giving her what she wants. All right. So we use the shower caps for the boots. And it is, I think it's very important to have them. And then I just take extra shower caps for whatever. I do take tennis shoes with me. So I put them over all my shoes. Try to stay inside of these things here. All of my shoes stay inside of shower caps to keep bugs and stuff out of them. All right, let's see. This is an important little sack I don't go without. And it's just a sack full of string, all different kinds of string, which makes me think of the song, Puff the Magic Dragon, string and sealing wax and all his favorite stuff. So these strings I use for all kinds of different things, but the main thing is clothesline. You can never have too much clothesline out there, because not only your stuff that you wash you want to dry, but stuff that got wet in the rain that you want to dry. I don't wash the clothes every day, so sometimes they are sweaty, so I turn them inside out and hang them on the clothesline. So having clothesline is extremely important because stuff is always wet. If you're lucky, you want it to be raining out there because things are much better when it's raining. All right, for me, this is very important. And I've taken this in all kinds of different forms to the jungle, but what it is, you guys can see me, is it's just a little thing for my back. You just lay on it and, oh my goodness, you probably can't hear that, but my whole back just cracks. So I just roll it like this on my back, and I also put it down on my hips, and it will do a great adjustment on the lower back, the upper back. I lay on it with it right behind my neck, and it just, you know, I'm a chiropractor regular. So this is my little home away from home chiropractic. And I just really feel like I can't go without something like this, as well as using my hammocks for some yoga, which I'll also show you guys. All right, let's keep on rolling here. Of course, I have a first aid kit, and Larry has gone through my first aid kit, and he is going to bring me, he said I need some more gauze, so he's going to bring me that from, he's a dentist, so when he comes from the dental office today, he's going to have some gauze for me. And it just has, I'm not going to go through everything that's in here. It's a typical first aid kit that you would order online, but I have added a couple things in here. This right here is actually the kind of wax you use to remove body hair. Like, you know, you put it on your legs. I've never done that with it. But why I have this is because I read online that if you get thorns in you, then you can use this wax to actually pull the thorns out. So it's never been tested, but the wax has been used before and it works. So just not for stickers. And then, like I said, all the typical stuff. I've added things like fingernail clippers and tweezers. I have this little, I won't do it loud, little whistle that actually came with the first aid kit, and it's called My Medic. And you can order these online anywhere from this small size, which they do have smaller, all the way up to huge kits. And they're pretty expensive for something so small, but it has a lot of good stuff in it. And of course, it's not going to take care of a huge emergency, but it will take care of an emergency. And it has stuff in there like, what's that called? A trach tube or something? You know, like if someone's choking and you have to poke a hole in them. I hope that doesn't. Say it again. Tracheotomy tube. So the thing, anyway, it's got stuff in here that I hope to never have to use myself or have used on me. But it's in there because you never know. All right. This is extremely important. And I always bring extra bug nets. And these bug nets, you can put it over your face. When we're on the river in a boat, you don't really need this because you're usually moving. But when you are stopped and you have that flashlight right by your face, the bugs all collect right at your face. These, you know, the mosquitoes still get on your forehead. Your whole face, your forehead will get covered in bites because it presses against your forehead, and you do still get bites, but it really does prevent a lot. I used to wear this every single time, but now that I know about river searching instead of walking through the jungle, the bugs aren't nearly as bad. But I bring a lot of extras because I also will put them on my arms. I put them on my arms. I'll put my gear inside of them. I use these bags pretty much for everything. And I even use them when we're in Suriname and I'm getting the emeralds. Kara's over there taking selfies with Jaja. It's so cute. When I'm collecting emeralds from hunters and stuff that are taking to sell them to the exporters, I buy the emeralds from the hunters and take them back out to the river and release them in secret places, deep back inside of places. So I do actually use these bug bags for those emeralds as well. Some of you might have seen the bags I create filled with little tree pieces and stuff. So they're very, very useful, these bug sacks. This is going to be one of the, not this one, this is my extra. My real one is in here because I cannot live without my poncho out there. Everything that's in this bag right here, I can't live without. Kyra's again vigorously nodding her head because you are going to use this for everything. At the beginning of the night, you're probably going to be sitting on it to cushion your butt for the 8 to 10 hours that you're on the boat. Usually 6 to 8 hours we're out there on the boat. Sometimes it's been 10, quite a few times, because when you start finding one emerald after the other, you don't stop until the sun is fully out. So yep, it is. You definitely get a high, like an exciting high when you're finding those emeralds. So you could be on that boat for a long time, and you might start off with sitting to keep yourself cushioned, but then before long you're going to be wearing it because it gets cold out there. So it's not only for when it's pouring down rain, which you have to have it during that time, but also to sit on, which I just remembered I don't have my umbrella. I do take an umbrella. It's not in this bag. I am going to use my pen and paper here because I would not be happy if I get out there and I have no umbrella. And really, you only need a poncho. Cursive. You guys remember cursive? It's an old concept. You don't have to have an umbrella. I mean, those guys out there, they don't carry umbrellas. The reason I have to have an umbrella is because I'm out there taking pictures and videos. So I have to have that umbrella so that I can be able to get a decent shot. So that's the reason I need an umbrella. And it's just a good idea to have one. I just take one of those really small little compacts. So this is a poncho that you could just buy. This one actually just came from Bass Pro Shop, and I got it just to have as a backup, because there are some things you don't want to be without. And actually, I every single time I'm on the boat, I always bring my backup poncho, because those guys who just live out there, they don't take ponchos. They don't take lots of stuff. And then you get out there and you have all this stuff, and they're like, oh, wow, that looks very convenient. And a poncho is the easiest thing to offer them, because, well, the poncho and beef jerky, because they don't think about having a poncho. All right, we're getting to some good stuff here. This is actually the cover. Hello, Wendy. Hi, Susan. Thank you guys for coming. Sometimes you guys will hear me say stuff because I do have this phone right here, and it shows me Facebook, who's watching from Facebook. And then Kyra's over there with who's making any comments on YouTube. So YouTube, you can only see if someone makes a comment or says something, but Facebook shows you when someone logs on. All right, so this is just it's like a tent. You could like set this up with some stakes and turn it into a little tent. It actually comes with the hammocks, which I'm going to show you shortly. And it is completely rainproof. But again, you guys won't believe it. At nighttime, it gets cold. And this makes a great blanket because it blocks the wind and it really, really keeps you warm. So I always take extras of these. And you're going to see that I also have one of these in my other backpack that I take on the airplane. And this is everything that's in here is extra stuff that I take. This is a roll of tissue, just a plain old regular roll of bathroom tissue. And that's it, just in case. This is actually the same roll that I've had in here trip after trip, because I always take plenty of packages of tissue, you know, like those little tissues for your nose, and then lots of wet wipes. So I just take that roll of tissue just in case. This is more string. I don't think I need all this string, but I use string so much for all kinds of different things. I just like to have it. It's very convenient, and I often will give away a roll of string. So, and some of the string stretches, and you just never know what you're going to need string for. So I don't know if I'm going to take both of these bags of string I showed you guys. Let's see how much room I have. All right, so this is one hammock. I'm actually going to, that's everything in that bag. I am going to set my hammocks up for you guys after I show you all my gear. So Kyra is going to move the camera and stuff, and I'll do all that at one time. And I'm going to show you guys how I set up my hammocks. Notice I have plural, and why I do it the way I do. This is my primary hammock, but I keep it in my checked luggage, because if I had to live without it, I could. I hope I don't have to, but I could. And it's kind of big and bulky, so it does not make it into the carry-on bag. Thank you, Reynaldo. I wish you were with me. I wish Reynaldo could always be with me. My first 3 jungle trips were with Reynaldo, so I wish that we could take all of our trips together, but it's not practical. But we will travel again together one day. All right, so we talked about this bag. It also has a nice zipper here and another zipper inside. You guys can still see everything good? All right, this stuff right here is my electronics. this particular trip, I won't be taking all my camera gear. This trip is going to be strictly, everything's just going to be done on my iPhone. I'm not even going to take my Ultra that I have here, which has the best camera and video on it. I'm just going to take my iPhone. I do, you know, I'm going somewhere I've never been before, with folks I've never been with, and I just feel safer not having things that if I lost any of this stuff, I could replace it. So the camera gear is a little bit different. It's a lot more expensive than any of this stuff, so it's just going to stay behind. And I'll get plenty of good stuff on my phone. All right, so these three things right here are charging blocks. And we do take a car battery. Like I said, I'm traveling with people I've never traveled with, but Mark's going with me, and Mark always takes a car battery, and he has another little device that he uses to plug in to connect to the car battery, and then we can plug stuff into it. So if we need to take that, if we need to get a battery before we leave into the deep jungle, we will. So I may have a battery to charge these things, but if not, these three chargers will last me for the full 10 days because they're really, really, really good. And I'll mostly just be charging flashlights and my phone for the camera. So they are really good chargers. And like I said, we often have the opportunity to charge more. In Suriname, we do also bring a solar panel. So if you guys ever take a trip with me, it's going to be to Suriname, because I have that trip completely set up and planned, and Mark and I have everything runs like clockwork. So that's the trip that I take folks on. And in that case, we do have electricity, and I only take one of these, and it's very, very convenient. You get the full wild jungle experience, but a little bit more comforts than you might have on a trip like what I'm about to do now. All right, this is minimal electronics. You guys, the first time I took this jungle trip, I had a whole suitcase full of electronics. It was quite ridiculous. So now I take 2 headlamps, and I don't typically wear the headlamps because when you have this sucker on, you have so many bugs in your face. I mean, it's like your whole, like when you have a porch light on and the light and the whole wall is covered in bugs, that's what your face is like when you're wearing one of these headlamps. So even if you have that bug net on, like I showed you, and you have this headlamp on the outside of it, this is pressing on your forehead. So the net's on your forehead, and you still have all the bugs on your forehead biting through the net. So I typically keep my head flashlight in my Scotty vest pocket so that I can have it when I need it. And usually the only time I use this is when I go off to pee somewhere, because it's just convenient to have a headlamp on. But even then, I would just rather work in the dark than have lights on out there at night. It's just having lights on out there at night is bug fest. So I do take 2 headlamps. This headlamp is the one I was telling you about. I have to actually remove the battery from it because it is the one that burned the hole in my bag. And I do still carry it because it was very expensive. It lasts forever, night after night, and it just has a really good light on it. And sometimes when someone else's flashlight goes out, I can offer them this headlamp, and it's even better than their flashlight in many cases. So this is just a great headlamp, and even though I have to take the battery out and it burned a hole in my bag, I'm not willing to part with it. So when I do the review on this Night Gig Elite, I will be saying all of that stuff. These are all battery, or no, I'm sorry. One of these is battery operated, and the other 2 are rechargeable. And these flashlights are really good. They go a long, long distance. They last a long time, but they're not good, and they're compact. They're very small. So I keep one of these. Remember how I said zip, 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 zip on the Scotty vest? Well, I just throw these in all different parts of the vest so I can find it. And you know, like you're wearing that vest, you can like feel, oh, there's a flashlight right there. Well, that doesn't mean you're going to unzip something and find it because there are 5 pockets over that spot. So I just put a flashlight everywhere so that I can find one quickly when I need it. And also I have mini so that they're compact, they're easy to carry, and you don't want to run out of flashlight juice. This flashlight does not last all night when we're out searching for the animals, but I can plug it in. It has this little plug, and I can plug it into my charger and keep the charger in my vest and have it charging the whole time while I'm actually using it like you would with a phone. So it makes it very, very convenient to have the rechargeable, because if you just have a battery, you know, it runs out and it's out. You have to carry a bunch of batteries with you, and batteries are heavy. They get wet. They roll. If a battery rolls off into something, the water or into the jungle, you can't find that battery. You don't find stuff when it's rolled off out there somewhere. And then I just have like little extra batteries and chargers that I can use. And that's basically it. I do have one more flashlight and I do not know where it is. I just realized I better write that on my list. All right. Now we have our electronics here. And like I said, you guys, this is minimal stuff. If I would have showed you guys everything I took on that first trip, you would be shocked. If I ever find a video or something of that, I'll get it and post it or something. All right, these bags are my toiletries. When we shower out there or bathe, we are bathing in the river, and we have different ways we do it. My favorite way, which we did, oh my gosh, Kyra and Allison and I had so much fun bathing like this one time, that what I'm about to tell you, that we all came back feeling like a lizard for a week, because we got so sunburned because the water was cool, the sun felt so good on us, and we were out there washing our clothes and taking our shower and splashing around, taking pictures, and you know, we felt great. And then that night we knew we were burned, and then it just, of course, how sunburns are, it kept getting worse over the next couple days. And when it's really hot and sweaty in the jungle and you're sunburned, that was the only time that ever happened, and I am extremely careful not to let that happen again. It was very uncomfortable for us 3 girls that day, or that trip, I mean. All right, so when the water's running really fast down the river, and you can find a nice rock to sit on that isn't too deep, because it will wash you away. You have to find just the right height of water, and, you know, rush and sit in it so that you don't get washed away and you get to wash yourself. But all we do in that scenario, which is my favorite, is we sit on the rock. Since I'm talking about this, I want to just get out something else here to show you guys, because not everybody likes to bathe naked. Although when people do like to, I always do like to do that, because you're out there in the river and it just feels nice to be that way. But I probably shouldn't have said that. Anyway, I do have I'm getting way ahead of myself here. But I wanted to show you guys this. And you know, the guys are lucky because you can just wear something easy, and we can wear shorts too. But all that work, and I can't find it right this minute. But I do like to take this. Here it is. And this is how it is in the jungle. This is why you do not keep your stuff packed in a bag in the jungle. And I'm going to show you guys that. How am I on time? What time is it? Oh, it is? Oh. I'm so bad at keeping these short. So this is just a little sundress, and I just wear this in the river. It can get wet. It keeps me covered, and it's really easy. So we just sit in the water, wash yourself, wash your hair real good, and then you can just, like, the water's rushing over you, and you just can like lean your hair back in the water and let it, the rushing water just rinses you, and it's just an amazing feeling. I love that. But then other times you can bathe right off the shore, which I really like to only bathe where there are rocks, like lots of rocks, so that there's no dirt. And also, I always wear my tennis shoes in the water when I bathe on the bank. And then sometimes the whole bank is all muddy and filled with stingray, and it's the guys do it. I don't want to do it. They just get in that mud and bathe. But I do like to get on the boat, and then we just kind of go out into the water a little bit. And I just, like, when I wash my hair, I just hold on to the boat and put my hair in the boat while we're moving really slow. And it does kind of the same thing as the water rushing over you, and just rinses all of the shampoo and stuff out of your hair. And then, we just take little buckets and lean off the boat and splash the water on you. So there are all different kinds of ways we bathe out there. And when Bob's friend Amy went with us out there, well, she's all of our friend now, but I hadn't met her at that point. And she literally bathed in the rain. It was pouring down rain, and she's like, "Oh, this is so magnificent." And she just had her bathing suit on, and she was just out there in the rain, washing her hair and doing everything. It was fantastic. So you can bathe all kinds of different ways out there. All right, now I don't know exactly where I was because I dug all this stuff out to show you a dress. This is my favorite poncho. I actually got this poncho when I was with Reynaldo in Colombia on my second trip ever. And it's super thick. Every time someone new sees this poncho, they're like, "Oh my gosh, where did you get that? I need to get one of those. Can you bring me one of those on your next trip?" And I'm like, "Nope, I can't, because I got it in Colombia. And I've never seen another thing like it. This thing is thick. And like I said, it gets cold on that boat. You put this on and you are instantly heated seats, okay, that cover your whole self. And it's made for two people, so it's nice and big. It has pockets, like real pockets. So this is a magnificent poncho. I was recently in Colombia, and I did see them, but they're like $80. So even in Colombia, they're very expensive. So I did not buy any more of them. All right, I'm trying to get to the end here, you guys. So here you can see I have another one of those tent tarp things. These keep you warm. They're also good for sitting on when you're out there on the boat. I do take this on the boat and I fill it with clothes and all different things so that I have something soft to lean on. Because like I said, we're on that boat 6 hours minimum, sometimes up to 10 hours, depending on how the night's going. All right, these bags have, this one is socks. And it has all of my merino wool socks in here. I do take like 6 pair because there are some underwear and socks. Those are the thing I always take more than I need, because if you do wash stuff and it's pouring down rain, your stuff won't dry at all. At least you want clean underwear and clean socks. So I take plenty of socks and underwear to last me, even if I wanted to change twice a day. Not every day, but I take extra of all that stuff. Then let's see. I just take sports bras. These are not actually advertised as quick dry, but they are very quick dry. They're kind of like a nylon material. Not something I would normally like to wear, but they're perfect for being out there where you want stuff that dries fast and is comfortable. And then underwear was really hard, because the first time I went, I just took regular underwear. But these are like super quick dry underwear. And For girls, you want to make sure that your underwear doesn't have like a cotton lining in it, because that little tiny, even as small as it is, piece of cotton doesn't dry. So you really want to make sure you have everything that dries quick. All right, so we've talked about my underwear. We've talked about bathing naked. Let's see what other embarrassing things I can say. So as far as clothes, I'm just down to clothes, and then I'm going to show you guys my hammock setup. These are just some of my regular t-shirts. I just like to have t-shirts to wear. I only bring 3 of them, and I sometimes put them on when I'm making videos, you know, different videos for stuff, but I don't wear them like when I'm working out there or on the boat or anything. The t-shirts are just in case I want to make pictures or videos. I take plenty of these undershirts. I take 4 of them, because if I don't get to do laundry for a while, I can at least change my shirts. And when I get if I don't get to do laundry for days, then I will just put my clothes in the bag with some soap and a tiny bit of water and just let it stay that way. And these t-shirts are just great in the evenings when we're out on the boat. I always like to have a fresh t-shirt on, so that way I don't have to wash this heavy shirt as much. I can just wash these lighter t-shirts. Just a comfortable pair of quick dry pants that are very comfortable. The same exact t-shirts, but in different colors. The black one's a little heavier, so when it gets cool. And guys, there are times when I'm putting on 3 or 5 layers of clothes and using my tarp as a blanket, because it does, you know, 70 degrees doesn't sound cold, but when you've been super hot and sweaty all day, when it gets down to 70 at night, or 68, sometimes it gets pretty cool. It feels a lot colder than it is. So I don't like to be cold. So that's what I do. And then I know you guys are going to think this is magic, but it's not. It's just that I do have, like I said, I have this exact same outfit. 3 different outfits, exactly the same, but I only take 2 with me these days. And this is just what I wear every night on the boat, is these pants and these shirts. And these shirts do have a hoodie. And I always keep my hoodie up. I actually should have had that on when I started. I keep my hoodie up with my hat on. And that way the bugs are not getting around on my neck and stuff. The whole thing is you want to keep the mosquitoes off you, because that can really be something. And then just a pair of shorts just to have out there. So I am ready to show you my hammocks. Hello, Mateo. So good to see you. Thank you for coming. Kaylee Drew Birdsong Brown, thank you for coming. Thank you guys for showing up today. I just love that. It's so exciting when you guys are here. All right. I am going to set up my hammock. So Kyra might have to move the video camera. I'm going to tell you why I came up with this setup. And the reason I continue using it is not the same reason why I started using it. So I'll tell you guys that story. Let me just find the hammocks here. I've made such a mess of everything. All right, this is my primary hammock. And then oh, here it is. All right, this is my secondary hammock. I call this my sleeping hammock, and I call this my gear hammock. So let's see what that looks like. All right, Kyra, I'm thinking, can you maybe move it over there? So I'm going to use this whole space right here. I don't know what's going to be the best. I don't know. Or you could just see how you could see me there. Let's just see. I'll just start with this one. All right. So I don't know if you guys can completely see me right now. I'm not going to be able to stretch it as far as I would like to. I'll just kind of work, and then you just move the camera however you think you need to. because I have to hook this all the way over here to show it. I'm thinking if you went over there, if you were able to, maybe if you just come right through this way. And I'll just kind of watch these cords for you. So you guys can see that I've set my primary hammock up right here. How does that look? Looks good? Okay. And for you guys who don't know, my whole house, every room's got hammocks in it. So I do have lots of hammocks. I use them for all kinds of yoga and just to sit in. All right, how does this look? Can you see my hammock here? All right, let's continue on with the primary hammock because it has a few extras in it. This hammock actually comes with like a tent setup. These things here. And I remember the first time Allison ever saw this hammock, she's like, "You have a castle." So I'll show you guys my castle hammock here. And I do ask everybody who goes on my trips to also get one of these hammocks because it is very convenient. You really appreciate the space, being able to have some of your stuff in the hammock with you. And the main thing is that because of this little tent part that I'm setting up, you are able to keep more mosquitoes off of you. Because if your hammock, like I'll show you how the cargo hammock is, it still has a tent on it, but it does not keep the net far off your face. And you really want that netting to be far off your face so that the bugs can't get to you. Because one thing you could be guaranteed, that if the mosquitoes can get to you, they will. And, you know, it's not, mosquitoes aren't just aggravating, they're also, you know, dangerous because that's how you come up with yellow fever and malaria. And, you know, of course, you take all your medicine, you're required to have shots for all that stuff. The yellow fever, I think, is recommended but not checked. I don't know, but it's all just scary to think about getting some of that stuff. So as much prevention as you can do, the more prevention you can do, the better. All right, there we go. So is that way too high, Kyra? Okay. So I know. It's this, there's a little piece. Because actually when you're in it, it makes this tent part stand up. And I'm just clipping it to this so that you guys can get a look at how it really looks. And well, I'll just hold it here. And you guys can see that this hammock, here, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll just get in it. Because once you get in it, then you can see better exactly how great this hammock is. I do actually put my hammock this high when we're in the jungle, and everybody's like, "That's too high." But I like my hammock real high up. And when we're in the jungle, I just don't have the actual stretch for this right now. But in the jungle, this hammock is very, very taut. So there's really no bow in it. It's just tight, which makes this netting stand up. So I'm actually not able to get you guys the best possible view. But that's only half of my hammock setup. Let me keep rolling with this. This is the cargo hammock. It's a very nice, compact hammock. These straps do not come with any hammocks. You have to buy these straps separate, and they're great because you don't have to tie them. The whole entire strap has these holes. So when you hang your hammock, you can just, you know, put it straight through like this around something, and then you can hang your D-rings anywhere you want to on here. These are the best hammock ties ever. They're expensive, but if you're going to use them over and over and over again, they are well worth it. I've had these since my second trip. And I love sleeping in my hammocks. I think it's very comfortable. Like I said, when this is pulled real taut, it's almost just, well, for me, it's very comfortable, and it's nice and wide. So you can like lay on your side and roll over and everything. All right, check out this hammock. This is so cool. This bag that it's in is actually the pocket. So you take it out, and there's no bag to worry about. It's just this. And I also asked my guests to get these, and multiple times I've had people, when it's time to pack up, they're like, I can't find the bag for my cargo hammock. It's like, your cargo hammock is the bag. So this cargo hammock, well, I'm not going to be able to really like give you guys the perfect setup because I don't have all the space that I have out there. But this cargo hammock goes underneath the primary hammock like this. And when I have these green straps, like I told you, I just put up one, and I can hang both hammocks from these straps. These straps can tow like, I don't know, 1,500 pounds or more or something. They're super duper strong. So I just hang both of my hammocks, one low, my cargo hammock low, and my primary hammock high. And this is how it looks. Now this cargo hammock, I put all of my gear into. And mine's backwards right now. You do want to make sure that your cargo hammock zipper is on the same side as your primary zipper. And then you just put all your stuff in it. Like, I don't leave any of this stuff in bags. I put it all directly into my cargo hammock. All of my clothes, all of my electronics, everything I have is in this hammock, just spread out. So when I need something, it's all in here, and I don't have to like dig through bags. I can just stand up and find my stuff in here. And I even use that string sometimes, all the string I showed you. Like I said, this is real taut. This bow here does not give you a good idea of how this actually is. It's real taut. And I can put a string on the inside of this hammock. And because it's so taut, I can actually hang stuff in here. And then all of my electronics, everything's just in here. And so now when I need something, I'm not digging through bags. I have, see if I can get it like that so you can kind of see. I can kind of see what's in here through the top of this netting and find my stuff more easily. And, you know, if you keep your stuff in bags and you're constantly digging in a dark bag and looking for all stuff that's folded up real small, it's not only frustrating, but it's hard to keep like that. You have to keep putting your bag away so that things don't get wet, so bugs don't get in it. And this net zips up completely. It doesn't have the tent thing like this one does. It just zips up like this. And it's also a backup hammock. So if anything happened to this hammock, I have a second hammock to sleep in. And that has happened to me before. I have accidentally ordered the wrong hammock. I have to order one of these primary hammocks every trip because I always give it away. So yes, I have all of my gear in this hammock. Now, why? I told you that the reason I continue using it is not the same reason I started using it. I told you guys that the very first time I ever went to the jungle looking for emeralds in the wild, I found one. And all I wanted to do was go sleep in the spot where I found it, which was literally 600 feet from our camp. And when I got to go do that, I was scared because, like I said, the most dangerous animal out there is the wild pig. And I was imagining my hammock being kind of low down to the ground, like other people kept theirs. And I just imagined those wild pigs coming and, you know, ramming me or biting me through my hammock or whatever they would do. And so I thought, well, I'll trick the pigs and I'll put my backup hammock underneath my hammock I like and fill it with stuff so that if the pigs come, they'll bother this hammock and I'll be up here high. Well, when I did that, I realized how convenient it was having all my stuff down here. So I initially did it for safety, but now I just do it for convenience, and just turns out to be safe and convenient. So I really do love having the double hammock system. And you guys saw the little tarps that come with these. I showed you guys. I know I've got multiples of them here. I was just looking for one that had already been unfolded. But here's one here. These tarps, you know, if it's pouring down rain, the guys usually bring big tarps and try to set up a tarp over the hammocks. But that's not always possible. Like you guys, Reynaldo was just here with us. Reynaldo and I were out in the freezing cold rain one night. We got dropped off in the middle of nowhere by a fisherman we didn't know if he was coming back the next day. Kind of crazy. But it was pouring down rain and it was just us in our hammocks. And we were freezing cold and soaking wet all night long. But we were still out there in that freezing cold rain looking for the emeralds. And our hammocks were, even though the water can get through this material, not fast enough because we were literally sleeping in puddles of water and it was warmer to keep the water in your hammock. We put these tarps under the hammock so the water couldn't get out because it was warmer to be in the water that we were in instead of dumping the water out and letting it fill up again. So sometimes the conditions are harsh. And it's nice to have these tarps can go over the top of the big hammock, and then also one that can go over this hammock. So we do have some waterproofing we try to do. Guys, oh, I know. The thing I did not show you is the rest of my toiletries, which is just shampoo, conditioner, wet wipes, rubbing alcohol. But there was a thing I wanted to show you extra. I wonder if I put it in here. This is, if I didn't take any soap, no shampoo, no soap, no nothing, and I could only take like one thing of soap, it would be this right here. And when you guys take a trip with me, you will see on the packing list that you need to bring 2 of these. And this is just dishwashing liquid, because when your clothes are wet for days and days and you don't have time for those clothes to dry, they will grow mold. Like literally within 2 days, something with no mold will be covered in mold. So dish soap seems to be the only thing that keeps that from happening. And if it's raining too much, you can even put your clothes in some water with the dish soap and not rinse it fully. Just kind of leave the soap in your clothes. You know, you just got to do what you got to do. So this dish soap is extremely important. And then my other toiletries are small containers of shampoo, conditioner, deodorant, and, you know, floss, toothbrush, toothpaste, Neosporin, cortisone, lots of cortisone. I know last time Kyra had some stuff called Bug Bite Be Gone or Bite Away, whatever it was good. And it worked really, really good. So I don't know why I never got any of that, just because I did order like a huge case of cortisone. So I've never run out of it yet. All right, you guys, I think that's everything. Let me check and see what all we got going here. Thank you guys for sticking with me through all of this. I know I always go way longer than I plan to because I just get so excited about sharing stuff with you guys. I'm gonna get up in this hammock to say goodbye. And this whole setup is way better than what you see here. Like I said, when this is all nice and taut, it's super comfortable and convenient. You guys, it is just so awesome having you guys here. Do we have any questions on the YouTube channel? Okay. You guys, I had so much fun sharing with you. I will not be here for the next 2 weeks, but as soon as I get back, my first Monday night back, which will be, I think, December 9th, if that's a Monday, if not, whichever Monday's right by December 9th, I'll be back for our 6 p.m. Emerald, updates in the Emerald Room. And on that episode, as well as my Thursday at 1 p.m. Central Standard Time episode, I'm going to use both of those episodes to talk about my trip. And I'll have pictures and videos to show you guys while I'm chatting and tell you guys all about everything. I'm so excited to get to share this trip. This is going to be the first time I got to share about a trip live. As you guys know, I'm just not good at sitting in front of the computer video editing. So this is my way of sharing, and I just appreciate you guys being here. So wish me off well and be thinking about me when I'm gone. And I will, be seeing you guys as often as possible when I'm out there. If I get an opportunity to go live for a minute, I'll get on there and say hello and tell you what's going on. So you guys can keep your eyes open for that, as well as Larry's going to be posting some shorts. So he has all of the login for my social medias, and he's been videoing the animals and me. And he said that while I'm gone, he has a lot of days off, he's going to make some shorts. So you can also keep an eye out for those. All right, you guys, thank you so much for coming. Kyra, do you see how to end it? Yes, and then after you press end stream, there's going to be another place to end it. And then as soon as that goes blank, tell me so that I can quit smiling and going like this.